So many people say that they want to move to Victoria, but then they fumble the ball when it comes to actually pulling it off. In this video, I'm going to share 8 essential tips that really helped me make it a smooth process when I relocated my family here from Toronto. I'm Sean P. I'm a real estate agent living in Victoria, and I make videos to help people understand how to navigate our real estate market. If this is valuable to you, please like and subscribe so you don't miss anything else we have coming up. And if you want, you can connect with me directly using the link in the description. Okay, let's jump in. Tip number 1 is one that seems really obvious, and yet so many people overlook it. One of the most important things if you're relocating to Victoria is to have someone here who can be boots to the ground. Now, this could be a friend or family member who you know that lives in the city or nearby, or it could even be your realtor. If you don't have someone, reach out. We have people who can help. And ultimately, it's really important just to have someone who can help you navigate different neighborhoods and get answers to questions, or even just walk through a property before you book a plane ticket to come out and look at it. Our market can move really fast. So having a way to get a quick idea of what something seems like in person could be the difference between you getting that perfect home or missing out. Tip number 2 is to be absolutely certain that this is going to be the right move before you commit long term. Okay, so what does this look like? Well, in a simple setting, it might just mean that you come and spend more time here before you actually move. Maybe you visited for a couple days as a stop on a cruise, or you were visiting Vancouver and you did a day trip to the island. Now, that's a great way to get a feel for this, but if you're considering moving your entire life out here, you should come and spend at least 1 to 2 weeks on the island and really explore. Bonus points if you do this in the spring or the fall, where you'll get a better representation of what our whole climate here really looks like. Now, the second thing that I would do is I would check in with someone who's local. Most of the time when people are moving out here, they have someone in the area that they're close to already. Maybe it's a friend or a family member that you can have a real conversation with, where they don't just sell you on it, but they also share some of the things that were challenges to them when they relocated. If that doesn't work, there are a ton of Facebook groups you could check out, and you could just ask someone if they mind jumping on a quick phone call so you could pick their brain. I'm certain there'll be someone who would help. And if you can't find someone that way, you can always reach out to me. I'm happy to help as well. The third thing that I would recommend is something that I made myself do before I moved out here, which is you should put yourself on a decision timeout. Now, this could be as little as a week or 2, maybe as long as a month, but essentially you might get really excited, and before you finally commit to actually going through with the move, I recommend that you take some time to just let the decision sink in and really get past the honeymoon phase of excitement and get into a phase of actually thinking more about what your life will look like and all of the things that are going to change when you move here. Tip number 3 is know where you're landing. I see all kinds of people who think that they're going to rent for a bit and then buy a home, but that just ends up wasting a lot of money, and it's a huge amount of extra work to move twice. So you might get stuck in a rental a lot longer than you want to. During that time, you might also see your savings go down and the cost of housing go up. My recommendation is to take the time up front and get settled into the right house in the right neighborhood. And if you're planning on buying in the long run, get into the market as soon as you can. Here are some things that you should consider. First of all, look at work and the commute and things like schools, if those are going to be important factors. The other thing that I see a lot of people doing is they plan the move around a total lifestyle change. I'm going to start hiking more and spend more time outdoors. That's really cool, and I hope that you do. But buying a home in an area that's completely different from where you've traditionally lived and being in a new city might end up with you being isolated or too close to downtown. So put some thought into what a good balance for your life would look like and use that as a way to guide yourself through the decision. We have all kinds of different locations and neighborhoods that you can consider. And in Victoria, most things are about a half hour away, even when you live a little bit further from the core. So don't be afraid to experiment and explore, especially if you're coming out to visit. Spend some time going to areas you might not have considered, because you might be pleasantly surprised. Tip number 4 is to have your realtor set you up to watch the market. Now, this is something that doesn't take a realtor a lot of time and will save you a tremendous amount of going back and setting up your search over and over again. Essentially what we'll do is we'll get you plugged into a portal where you can access all the listings on MLS, and also you'll receive notifications by email when new properties come out. Now, this helps because it gives you a really good idea of what the scope of properties looks like in the area that you're interested in. However, I also recommend if you're doing a search, get your realtor to set the parameters extra wide. So if you're watching a neighborhood that you really want to live in, have them set you to receive the adjacent neighborhoods so that if something perfect comes up a block or two further from where you thought you wanted to be, you don't miss out. Same thing goes for price. Have them set the pricing parameters a little high and a little low just so that underpriced and overpriced properties don't get missed. Finally, I also recommend reaching out to your realtor maybe once a month or so and asking them to send you an update on what the sold properties look like in that same search so that way you get an idea of what they're actually trading for. Now, as always, I am a realtor. If you want this set up, we are more than happy to help you out, and you can use the link in the description to reach out to me. Tip number 5 is to research local services and amenities. Take some time and write down all of the things that you use on a monthly basis in the city where you live right now. It could be visits to the doctor, it could be dental care, it could be local transportation and your commute to work. Maybe you need to think a little bit about childcare and what kind of schools you want your children to go to. Now, Victoria has something for everyone when it comes to this stuff, but then there's also things that people don't think as much about. Like maybe you're moving out here to spend more time in nature, so you want to be close to hiking trails. You might plan to buy or already own a boat, and so moorage might be something that's a significant consideration. Whatever these things are, put some thought into them in advance and dig through online maps to figure out what areas are going to have the best balance for all of your needs. Tip number 6 is to ask your friends to share in the day-by-day, play-by-play. Here's what I'm saying. Most people who relocate here have some connection to someone out here already. And it can be really fun to get excited about trips to Tofino or jumping in the ocean for a cold plunge or just exploring the amazing wilderness that we have here. And at the same time, life is a little different. Things are a little slower. There's less of an urgency around everything in life. So if you're expecting to have the same kind of level of service that you experienced in the city, it might not be the same when you land here. So what I recommend doing is ask the people that you're connected to share their day-to-day experiences, the good, the things that are frustrating, and just the little quirky nature of this city that frankly is a big part of what makes people really fall in love with it for the long term, but might take some getting used to. Tip number 7 is to be absolutely ruthless getting rid of things. Here's the deal, especially if you're moving from further away, like center of the country or further, the cost to ship things is really high. And so oftentimes you're better off just to sell at a low price or even give away a lot of the stuff that you might be considering bringing and just purchase new when you get here. After all, chances are it's not going to be perfectly fit to your new home anyways. So giving yourself a little bit of grace and glowing up your personal stuff is a great idea. Here's the way to think about it. Typically when you move, you think about just the value of an item, and if its replacement value is high, you try to bring it with you. Well, there's actually another factor here. If you're moving from far away, you need to ship things, which means that it's actually a balance between the size versus the value. What you really want to bring is things that are small in size and high in value, since space is what you'll get charged for when it comes to shipping things across. Okay, tip number 8, the final tip, is to commit fully once you've made your decision. Now, I said that you should take a decision timeout and have some process and procedure to making sure that this is actually right for you. Here's the deal though. Once you get to the point that you've made the decision, own it. Don't worry, don't fret, don't start second guessing things. Just move into action and start actually getting things done. If you let this take too long, you'll never fully rip the Band-Aid off and you'll end up being disappointed and frustrated like so many other people have been in the past. That's it. 8 essential tips to make your move to Victoria a smoother process. If you know someone who's thinking about moving, please share this video with them. And as always, like and subscribe if you haven't already. Now, as I mentioned before, if some of the stuff that I mentioned in this video is something that would really help you, but you don't have someone who's boots to the ground, reach out to me. I would love to be of assistance, and you can use the link in the description to get in touch with me. As always, I'm grateful that you took the time to watch, and I'm looking forward to seeing you on my next video.